Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's all right. I just couldn't breathe.
Very good. Yeah.
All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Cindy Simpson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brian Porter.
Here.
Trustee Andres Esparza.
Here.
Trustee Liaison Olivia Dees. Here. Trustee Nicholas Gannon.
Here.
Trustee Daniel Hay.
Here.
Trustee Corey Schwartz.
Here.
All right, thank you. Next item on our agenda is approval of the agenda. I would entertain a motion and a second.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
All right, we have a motion and 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is audience business, and I do have some information here that I need to read. This is our audience participation policy, and it says, all people wishing to address the board shall do so from the podium provided in the boardroom. Comments will be directed to the Board of Trustees, not to the audience. Public comments regarding items not on the agenda shall be limited to 5 minutes per person, and public comments regarding public hearing items on the agenda will be limited to 3 minutes per person at the time the item comes up on the agenda. No person shall be allowed to speak until recognized by the mayor, and the board will not respond to citizen comments or take any action during audience business. They may instruct staff at the end of the meeting if further action is needed or desired by the majority of the board. All right, so we have 2 people signed up. First one is Mark Worth. Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, please. And you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, trustees and honorable mayor. I'm Mark Worth. I live at 10750 Road 43, and I'm here to request that you schedule a work session with me or direct your staff to honor your 1960 water agreement. I am dismayed that you declined to schedule a work session. I suspect that your attorney repeated arguments suggesting how the town might avoid honoring the 1960 agreement. Your attorney might have asserted that you are currently meeting the requirements of the 1960 easement, despite failing to provide the unused water and the second tap called out in the easement. You may have suggested that this is just a legal or administrative issue and you should not concern yourselves. Perhaps you outlined some hypothetical danger of you asking a question or expressing your opinions. Once again, I strongly disagree with your attorney. There is absolutely no reason you cannot ask questions or express a personal opinion. This is a policy matter involving the town's historic obligations and is the responsibility of a fully informed Board of Trustees to resolve it in the town's best interest. Clearly, in 1960, the Menkes trustees believed that allowing the use of unneeded water, quote unquote, and 2 untreated 3/4-inch taps would be a fair trade for the use of over 1 mile of pipeline easement and 1 acre of land needed for the town's settling ponds and water diversion. All of the other landowners on this pipeline received 1 unmetered tap in exchange for the use of their land for shorter sections of the pipeline. Currently, 1 of the 2 taps called out is being used on a portion of the original property that was owned by Shepherd in 1960, where approximately a half mile of pipeline is in place. The town's river diversion, settling ponds, and approximately half mile of the raw water transmission line are on our property. The town is using our land and has driven trucks on a half mile of our driveway over 1,000 times since taking away that unused water, and we have received no compensation. It is possible that the 1960 Board of Trustees might have recognized the benefit of utilizing its full water right, since a basic tenet of Colorado water law is, quote, use it or lose it. Perhaps the town trustees also recognized in 1960 that keeping this water in the valley instead of sending it down the river would be beneficial to the water table of the Mancos Valley. Releasing this unused water for 57 years, 1960 through 2017, benefited pasture and 5 acres of wetlands, which span the West Mancos Valley. This land is under a conservation easement. This water also benefits adjacent historic Reddit Ranch and the nearby historic Tumbling Tea Ranch. The 3/4-inch tap I am requesting would be the second tap called out in the agreement. It has no cost to the town since there is no treatment or distribution expense. For 57 years, until 2017, this has been a good deal for the town, securing the use of 1 mile of pipeline easement and 1 acre of land for town facilities, and only costing the town 2 raw 3/4-inch taps and unused water that would otherwise go back to the river. My wife and I are not unreasonable. We have successfully worked with adjacent landowners, the Montezuma Land Conservancy, the Mancos Water Conservancy District, the Mancos Conservation District, and the Army Corps of Engineers
1 minute.
to improve 1/2 mile of the West Fork of the Mancos River, enhancing the aquatic environment and allowing passage of endangered fish. My wife and I spend over $1,000 each year on 70 acre-feet of Jackson Lake water to restore pasture and enhance these wetlands. I invite you to come and visit to see our land and see the impact of your infrastructure. We have delayed addressing this issue and avoided any awkwardness resulting from the town spending state or federal grant funds in 2017 on land without an easement to quote, fix a leak, unquote, that was in fact a feature intentionally designed to meet the 1960 contract. Now it's time to resolve this issue. The town has nothing to lose. If you have questions, please let me know. I would be happy to clarify any issues and offer solutions. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak before you this evening.
Thank you. Oops. I think I put it away.
It's on the agenda.
Oh, and are you on the agenda?
I don't need to speak right now.
Okay, all right, cool. Ah, there you go. Got you in the drawer. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a Montezuma County Commission update, and I do not see Gerald. So the next item is G, announcements.
I do not have any announcements, but I believe Jason does.
Yes.
Okay.
I want you guys know that I'm working with a group of other folks in the county, and we're doing, just pass it down. We're doing an agritourism resource summit on March 8th at the community center. So check it out, and you'll see things on Facebook.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate that. Cool. Anyone else? No? All right. Moving along. The next item is consent agenda items. And our consent agenda tonight consists of approval of the minutes of February 12, 2025, Mancos School District update, and the Mancos Planning Commission update. I would entertain a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second with no, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, I will get used to this. All right, next item is discussion and action items. And so the first sub-item is Community Intervention Program Grant Application.
Yes, the town is asking to apply for a DOLA grant. The main thing on here is there's no cash match requirement. Jason found this grant and he wrote it, so if you have any questions about the grant, he is the best person to ask.
Okay, cool. How'd you find it?
With some help from my friends. Part of us taking on the project is working pretty closely with Access Health Systems and the Sheriff's Office. And in this case, Haley Leonard at Access found it. It's a brand new program. There's very few parameters. Like it's really new. This will be the first time they're even running a cycle on it. So anyway, I talked to the grant officer. He really likes the idea of the project. So yeah.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Any questions? All right.
Is this for 1 year, or is this multi-year?
It'll be a one-time request. Yeah.
So we don't open it next year, you know?
They just created it. He didn't have a lot of information about future funding opportunities through it, but there was no like parameters on like how much you can ask for. It's like, so how about 20% of the total amount that's available? So
Great.
yeah, excellent.
So how much was that again? That's the 200.
200,000.
Wow.
Yeah, they seeded it with $1 million, and if it goes well,
Wow.
it's a good project. They'll
So we just took over this project and you funded it with 200 grand.
Well, we're applying for the grant.
Well, yeah.
So
Just making sure I understand.
if it's approved, yeah.
There'll be I'll be bringing more grant applications to you soon.
Nice. All right.
Cool, man.
Any
Thank you.
other questions? Did you have?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. I guess with no further questions, I would entertain a motion in a second.
Move to approve the town administrator to submit the CIP grant application to DOLA and authorize the mayor to execute the grant contract upon award.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion in 3 seconds. I wonder how the vote will go. Would the clerk please call the vote?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Brendan Porter.
Aye.
Trustee Andres Spark.
Aye.
Trustee McKinney.
Aye.
Trustee Donahue.
Aye.
Trustee Corrigan.
All right, motion passes. Thank you all. Next item is Resolution 6, Series 2025, Resolution in support of Mancos Conservation District.
Yes, I do believe we have someone here to help too if you have questions.
Aha!
But the Mancos Conservation District went after a grant and got that, and so we did budget a certain amount of money to help with this because we've been partnering with the Mancos Conservation District. However, this request is to also go ahead and give them the $30,000 before the contract is executed. They've gone through some hard times. I'm sure you've actually seen it in the news and stuff. It's been out there on social media. And I don't know if you have
Sure, come on up. Come on up, state your name and address for the record.
Danny Margolis, 215 Aztec Street in Mancos. I'm the executive director of the Mancos Conservation District. Recently, so we've been, I guess, maybe to frame it, we've been partnering with the town for a long time on any number of different, either on the ground, educational projects, workshops, things like that. We had an NRCS grant that was focused on education and outreach around conservation throughout, really focused in the Mancos watershed, expanding a little bit beyond the borders into High Desert Conservation District as well. About a week and a half ago, it seems forever ago, that grant was terminated. It was about a $630,000 grant. We did 1 out of 3 years of it, so expended down about 1/3 of it. And have been chatting with lots of different folks, chatted with Heather, trying to figure out some mechanisms to continue to do some of those activities that were called out in it in particular. Those are really some of the core education programs that we had. We were anticipating a change in funding realities moving forward. I hadn't totally anticipated some of the contracted grants that we had going away so abruptly. And there are both ongoing programs with the library, with the school district, workshops we were planning, but also just some other half-finished projects as well. So the other funding that was mentioned, that is for some river improvements through both Cottonwood Park and the school district section. We got that awarded through a grant. We wrote that in along with a number of other projects for Bureau of Reclamation. It's called B2E funding, Bucket to Environmental. It was part of a larger proposal with Southwestern Water Conservation District. There's about a $26 million award. We got about, we were awarded or anticipated to be a sub-award at about $1.8 million of that. About $400,000 to $500,000 was for some of the improvements. I'm hopeful it's still going to go through. It wasn't ever contracted, but a lot of it is, wait and see at the moment.
Okay. Any other questions at this time? Okay. Anything else? What are we not asking that we should be?
I mean, I don't know. We just really appreciate the partnership with the town. It's incredibly valuable for us. We're located right within the town. We have now the workforce housing filled, which we're really excited about, and going to be having, on one side, it's different rounds of AmeriCorps interns that are working for both us, Montezuma School to Farm, and other entities. And then the other side is for a local employee within Mancos. And just really, really appreciate it. We have, I don't know, I'm just trying to keep as much of our staff right now as we can. So, yeah.
Hear that. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Any further questions, discussions? Do you have anything else?
I just want to confirm we did budget for this already because we had planned on the grant match anyway, so.
Okay. So it's just like we're just releasing it earlier than we normally would. Okay. All right. Well, no further discussion. I would look for a motion in a second.
Read this paragraph. Make a motion to approve Resolution 6, Series 2025, resolution of support for the Mancos Conservation District, the hard work and dedication to the public service, and authorize the town to remit $30,000 from the general fund budget to the Mancos Conservation District before the grant award.
Second.
Awesome. All right. We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the vote?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Brennan.
Aye.
Trustee Andres Esparza.
Aye.
Trustee Yanni.
Aye.
Trustee Dennis.
Aye.
Trustee Porter.
Aye.
All right. That passes. Next item is SWORD and SWTPR committee appointments.
Yes, so Heather right now is actually the voting member on both of those committees. SWORD, she's having conflicts with some of her already busy scheduled meetings. And so Jason has volunteered to be the voting member on there. And then the same with the Southwest TPR. Heather will still be on there, but she does need a backup for when she can't make those meetings. And I think Brent volunteered for that one.
Thank you.
Only because we have so many dang CDOT people on the board.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
I'm not making the motion.
Right. I need to prove myself. All right. Anything else? Any questions? Yeah. All right. I will look for a motion in a second.
I move to appoint Jason Armstrong as a voting member of SWORD and Brent McWhorter as an alternate voting member to SWTPR.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Brent McWhorter,
Aye.
Trustee Andres Esparza,
Aye.
Trustee Manning, Trustee Daniel
Aye.
Trustee Porter.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Simon, you're wrong.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Next item is change in board meeting time discussion.
Yes, this was brought up, I think, at the last meeting on the workshop.
It was a while ago. I missed it. It was the one in January I missed, so.
But currently your meetings are, on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 7, workshops at 6. And so it was brought up of possibly starting a little earlier. This is a complete discussion and up to you guys.
Who has to go first?
If I'm reading this correctly, is one of the suggested changes that we would end up with a half-hour workshop?
Yeah.
And the whole thing would be 40?
Yeah.
And so we went from 2 hours a month to 1 hour, just be more efficient with our time.
Yeah.
Like that.
Anyone else?
So I don't have a problem with starting the meetings at 6, and the workshop at 5:30. I would recommend that we do start the planning commission meetings a little earlier, just because starting them at 7 is a big ask for the staff to keep them here till 7 o'clock on days when we don't have anything else. As the liaison, I will say that it's a long time to wait for that. So I would recommend we move those up even earlier, possibly to like right at the end of business at 5 or 5:30
I could see going,
for planning and zoning.
yeah, I could see starting them off at 5:30. I think most people are retired maybe on the board.
They all are.
Yeah, but someday they might not be, so
Yeah,
if we
but
give them
I
like a
think
half
5:30
hour. Yeah,
is fine right now.
Yeah.
Would be fine for that. Just so that we don't have to make our staff stay here for so long.
yeah,
For the planning and zoning. And I'm fine with the recommendation in here of start the workshops at 5:30 and start the meetings at 6. Do that.
yeah,
If that's the consensus of the board, then I'll bring a resolution to the next meeting.
okay. Anybody have anything different that they wanted to toss out there?
Sounds great. Move it up.
Yeah,
See the
Earlier.
kids to sleep.
yeah. I'll get home. All right, yeah, so that'll come back to us at some point. All right, moving along, we now have the town project update.
This is just for your information only, it is an update. We are looking at grants are harder to get right now, everything's up in the air. So these are kind of just, not really recommendations, but just some of our big projects that we plan to do this year. And if we don't get grants, kind of how we will proceed with them. We might have
Or
to
not.
push to 2026,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
or if the match is too high.
yeah,
Well, and also it said in here, with the businesses, some of the businesses leaving and everything too.
Yes, our sales tax is gonna be lower. We're gonna have a department that's meeting where we're gonna talk about what we take.
Okay.
I appreciate, the fact that y'all are looking ahead, like, oh, this could be problematic. We need to come up with a plan. So I know I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else on the board does.
Yeah, it's a good moment to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your department heads are, they've already been in my office all this week about, should we do this, should we not?
Yeah.
They are.
That's good.
Nice. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Anybody have another project that should maybe go on the list? All right then. That looks like we've concluded that one. So the next agenda item is J, items for the March 12, 2025 meeting. So far we have consent agenda, Mancos Planning Commission update, Montezuma County Planning Commission.
The planning commission will be on the following meeting because we meet
Okay,
the second, we meet for the
Oh, yeah.
second meeting, not the first meeting.
Yeah.
So that'll have to come off that one.
So you have that, Jamie? Okay. So Montezuma County Planning Commission, thank you for catching that. Make School District update, student liaison report. Make Creative District update. Excuse me. And the Make Valley Chamber update and Region 9 update, and that is tentative. And then also the Paso Mesa Verde discussion, is that just kind of an update for the new board, or, okay, just kind of let them know, like, this is a history, this is where it's at. Okay, cool. And then visioning survey. All right. Anybody have anything else that we need to put on the agenda for next meeting?
What will be the workshop? Will it just be this one, move to the next one? Cool.
We'll
Okay.
probably hold off on the comprehensive plan, and it'll just be the ballot question.
All right.
Okay. And oh no, we have to do a thing to change the times. I was like, and will the new times be on the agenda? Not yet. All right. Well, seeing there's nothing else that we want to add, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. We are adjourned.